So, like I said, I mean, it's jumping through hoops, but, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make a point on certain things. You know, technically I can still walk into 123 and do the same thing because it is, again, a public lobby. But the guard there thinks that it's not. I mean, exactly. They're telling you, come down here and report it. But at the same time, the guard says, no, this isn't open to the public. So, I mean, it's just insanity. And again, it's a problem that you run across with different guards. They all assume their orders mean different things. So, just like the first guy that I walked up here, he just didn't know how to process public information request. So he's like, no, you have to take it here. And it's like, no, I don't have to do that. That's on you to make sure it gets where it goes. Talked to the people down there, and I came back, and fortunately for me, this other lady's here, so she's going to get it faxed over, and that solves that issue. It's currently 9:48, and today is still the 30th of March. Hey, officer, I don't want to approach you or make you think I'm trying to encroach. I'm going to film that trophy right behind you. Yeah, so, I mean, I'll keep my distance. I can just lean it over. Oh, I appreciate you moving is even better for me. I appreciate that. Thank you for being polite there. Like I said, I just didn't want to, you know, walk over here, especially if you know who I am. And some guards are like, oh, that's that guy who causes trouble. But really what I do is I'm an auditor. I make sure that things are...
I saw you the other night over there, Central Plaza.
Been there plenty of times. Hopefully it wasn't last night.
No.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
So...
Well, we get everything situated, what we're looking for and everything.
No, it's an ongoing battle. I mean, you know, getting... my biggest thing is, you know, a lot of guards just don't understand it, but like, I'm talking with you now. If I can educate a guard.
Yeah, master?
Yes.
Thank you.
You know, if I can educate a guard, you know, like this is a public lobby, that's all that I need to do. You know what I mean? And a good guard will go, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to violate someone's rights.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're here for what operator?
Bus operator.
Okay. You come down this hall,
Double door to the back.
knock on there, someone will let you in. Yeah, see you later.
Thank you.
Yep. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
But I mean, like, you've worked at 123 North Medina, the inside of the building there,
I
right?
work with them.
Right. So you know that the bottom or downstairs is open to the public. Upstairs is restricted to employees only, and there's about 23 signs in front of each door that is restricted. It says, hey, this is restricted. You know, I followed up on that because about 3 months ago when I went down there, they did not have the sign saying upstairs was restricted. They only had the unlawful gun signs, and that's a big no-go. People could have been suing you guys for that. I don't do that. But I could have, you know, sued you guys for $1,000 a day until you got up the right signage. Instead, I'm like, just get the right signs in. Oh, I'm waiting for a lady. She's got my information request. She's faxing it. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and return your pin as well. Thank you. You know, so I go in there yesterday, and I'm just following up to see if they got the right signs up. And I'll let you do this.
I'm listening.
Yeah. As soon as I walk in, I mean, just like here, you know, you have your thermal checkpoints. It says visitor sign in, so I wait. And she comes over, and I'm like, I'm just, you know, letting you take my temperature so I can come in the building. And she's just giving me a dirty look like, you're not coming in here. And I'm like, she didn't say that. I'm like, so you're not going to take my temperature? And I'm like, okay, if you're not going to take it, I'm just going to do what I'm doing. And she immediately is like, you can't come in here. And I'm like, how does that happen? How do guards not understand, policy?
Understood.
So, now I'm trespassed from that property for trying to film in the public. And I mean, it's ridiculous.
See, the person that picked it up last night.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it different. I don't know why they don't have a stand.
It's a little strange. Everything was powerful, so I don't know if you can remind them this.
So when I say that VIA hires third-party companies as well, he works directly for Transit Authority. He's transit security. But they hire third-party companies like this guy's with Allied Universal. It's just a cost thing. They do it quite frequently. And, this is what we expect. It just happens. But, sometimes people will go, well, who's who? And I'm like, you have your peace officers. You have your commissioned security guards. You have non-commissioned security guards. All of them still work for VIA. They're all still technically public employees, even though he worked for a private company. He's acting for a public agency. So, just like if that guard wanted to use his cell phone to take pictures, if this guard takes pictures, you can request that through an Information Act request as well. And a lot of people just don't understand that. They're like, well, they're not public employees. It's like, it's not. It's similar to when a government leases a building. They don't own it.
So, I faxed it to this person.
Andy? Okay, Mr. Scheidt.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
This is your original one. I still made you another copy.
Oh, that's great.
We also emailed him that we were going to fax this information to him.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your assistance. I'm not trying to be rude. You did an excellent job here. If you can just explain to the gentleman next to you that this is how you can do this. I mean, he was adamant that I go to that location, but that's not how these work. I mean, you guys have to take them when people give them to you. And you did an excellent job, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir. And actually, there's a form. Unfortunately, I guess we didn't have the form.
Right.
You sufficed very well.
No, I asked for the form, but again, he's not used to dealing with it. I'm not blaming him. And that's why I said if you get a chance, if you can just cover that with him. So if it comes up again, he's more informed, better able to help the public. So like I said, I appreciate that. And it's Rebecca?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Rebecca. You were very helpful. I appreciate that. I mean, unfortunately, obviously, I'm not doing this unless I had an issue, but, that issue's not your problem. So you've done what you can, and that's what we expect. Thank you again, Rebecca.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. And so that's going to conclude my business down here. I'm going to get out of here before something else unfortunate happens.